Hello and welcome to M&B Airgun Review. Today's a good day. It's an exciting day. I got a box right here for a nice unboxing. I believe it's the Cattleman M1 in 25. And very interested to pull the trigger on this rifle. As you all know, the AEA Bullpup in 25, it's the Challenger, and it's actually the Challenger to the Cattleman M1. So it's going to be an interesting shootout, pardon the pun. And going over this rifle the other day, it's a really nice quality PCP. So we're going to see how this fares against the M1, if there's an M1 in this box, which I believe there is. But before we go down that path, I mentioned in my last video, we were talking about Cattleman and the looks of it, and the Pistoff and the Retay, and how there was so much hate on the Cattleman because it looked like a Retay or a Pistoff. Now, a lot of people complained that the Pistoffs and the Retays only had 11-inch barrels. And I think a lot of people speak and they just regurgitate what they hear, or they hear in a forum. If you guys are familiar with Ataman, they got an M2R PCP. And if you go to Pyramyd Air and you look at this rifle, this is a 22 rifle that is very, you'll find if you go there right now, and I challenge every one of you to do this. I'm going to show you something. Never believe what you hear about things, okay? This is my Cattleman T2. It's a beautiful rifle. It's a beautiful shooting rifle. I've proved this over and over again. It's very accurate. It's very dependable. And it serves the purpose of what it does very well. I have no complaints. And at this price point, well, you really can't complain. Now, if you think you've seen this style before, well, you might have, because the Ataman M2R looks remarkably like it. As a matter of fact, if you go and you look at the receiver, well, it's almost identical. It might even be identical as far as the receiver goes. But the Ataman has an 11-inch barrel, where the Cattleman, and I'm going to give you guys a rundown here. Maybe we can do a little comparison here. 22 caliber. This shoots at well over 1,100 feet per second. We've already established that, and it can be detuned, adjusting the hammer spring if you wish to. Versus the Ataman. They're both 300 bar guns. They both have an ambidextrous stock grip. They both have an adjustable length of pull. They both have a folding stock. They both have side lever action. They both have free-floating barrels. Wait a minute, a free-floating barrel, but why is everybody complaining that this needs a barrel band? It's very accurate. Why does it need a barrel band? Why does a $1,300 gun not need a barrel band? Oh, that's right, it's a free-floating barrel. Coming from a firearm background, we know the purpose of a free-floating barrel. So, a barrel band helps if your gun really needs help. If it's got a good barrel on it, it doesn't need, and it's free-floating, it doesn't need a barrel band. So that's another myth that's out there. I think it's just like a popularity game. Let's do a barrel band. Well, why? If the gun shoots good, why do you need a barrel band? It makes no sense. Some things make me scratch my head for sure. Self-indexing magazine, shrouded barrel, of course, and Picatinny mounting rail on this one. It claims to have, although I believe they're just talking about the top of the receiver. That's for the scope. That would be a no-brainer, obviously. And they're claiming a velocity of 850 feet per second with the with their gun. And as we know, this one's about 1250. Sometimes even more, and I can get that with slugs. So it's more powerful. Rubber butt pad, both of them. Built-in air pressure gauge, both of them. They're saying 65 shots per fill. I wouldn't doubt it with this. I've done a lot of shots, I never counted. Barrel length, 11-inch barrel on the Ataman. Okay, Cattleman, what's your barrel length? I think I've already went over. I know what it is, but we're going to read it right from the site here. So, as you know, they're both very loud rifles. They're both very loud. You do get a free case with this. You do get silicone oils and all your stuff in your magazines. And of course. And I believe this is a 23-inch barrel. You got a 23-inch barrel on the Cattleman versus an 11-inch barrel. So, and you're paying $1,300. But let's not stop there. Wait a minute with that brand. And I'm not knocking that brand because it's an excellent brand and they do shoot good. So does the Cattleman. But let's go back. What else do they offer? What else do they offer? Well, they offer another style that is remarkably like the M1, or I'm sorry, the M1 from the Cattleman. And that is the M2R tactical carbine, they call it. Very similar stock. And that's $1,600. Also Turkish walnut. This is my point. They look like a Pistoff. Why aren't they getting bashed on? Something to think about, right? Cattleman's quality, I've proven it over and over. Some people might get a bad one. They might get one that has an issue. Well, that happens with manufacturers every day, doesn't it? They're not immune from that. But the overall general consensus of the people that own these guns is, well, they're an amazing gun. And they shoot well. And I'll verify that. And I'll put my money where my mouth is any day. And I'll take my handy little T2 right here and put it into competition, shooting competition, with any PCP on the market. So it's all about hitting your target. And that's what this does, and it does it powerfully. And I've learned this gun very well, and I have zero issues with it. And I've had it apart many times, checking it out. I know what makes it tick. And I am confident that that's going to bring me very, very many years of service. So that's my rant for that. And, oh, by the way, Cattleman, what's the T2 run? Well, $550 if you want to get it in a 25 caliber. If you want to get it in 22, you're looking at $525 versus, what did I say, $1,300? I see why they're pissing off companies and people getting upset, right? If you dropped a lot of money on a rifle like this and you're getting another rifle that is more powerful and very similar, yeah, I can see where you'd get mad, but you know, that's not Cattleman's fault that they came out with something so good for cheap. So check your egos at the door. Anyhow, we're gonna set that subject aside, and I'm sure I made some people mad on that one, but I really honestly don't care because we keep it real here at M&B Airgun Review. But what we're going to talk about now is what's in this box, and is it going to be enough? Does Cattleman have enough guts in it? Is the rifle, the M1, is it good enough to beat the AEA Bullpup in 25? Now that AEA claims to be a very powerful gun. I've heard reports of up to 80 foot-pounds. So, but will it? Well, my box came. It doesn't appear to be too damaged, although it did have a sticker on it, which was kind of disturbing, and I think that's why it came late. Or it went to somebody else at a different address. So apparently some sticker got stuck to this box, and this guy probably never got his package because his sticker's on my box. So, that's too bad. Let's get into this unboxing, guys. It's early in the morning. I'm excited to get this done. I seem a little bit grouchy. I haven't had my coffee this morning. You all know how that works out, right? Haven't had my coffee, and it's early. I know, never cut towards you, right? Well, I did. Let's get into this. Let's see exactly what we got. First, I'm going to cut off the shipping label. Make sure there's anything in here that I need. I believe there is. Moderator. Okay, let's check this out. Let's see what we have here. We have another card from Cattleman, of course. From Victoria. Victoria, thank you. Just wishing me well and hopes that I enjoy the M1. Victoria, I'm sure I'm going to thank you so much. You've been very patient with my reviews and very understanding, even at my critiques of your gun. And I'm sure that makes the viewer, settles with the viewers very well. And I believe Victoria has a moderator coming out for these too. So I'm slated to get one of those to test. So keep your eyes open for that, because that's going to be really cool, right? All right, let's open it. Of course, you know what I always do? I always open them on the wrong side. So I'm going to flip it over and see what we got here. Now, this went out to me a little bit early because this is a competition. So the way you're seeing this right here is the exact same one you guys would get. There's nothing. This is the gun that you would get if I think there might be some different things that I requested in here, but there's some. This is the gun. This is the air gun, the PCP that you would get if you ordered a M1. So this is in a nice bag, and I can tell you right now, this is the one that's right up my alley as far as, because I'm a long distance shooter and I love the these adjustable cheap loads. Wow, that stock really, really, really looks good. That is some nice walnut right there. I don't see a blemish on this. Isn't that beautiful? That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gun. Let's check out the balance on this thing. It's hard to get here. Very beautifully balanced. Yes. I like it. I like this a lot. As a matter of fact, the walnut on this appears to be of such good quality that this is definitely going to get some true oil. Definitely. So, this is the 25 caliber. This is the M1. Very nice, right? And did this one come with a charge? This come with a little bit of air in it. FX gauge that they're known for. Let's see what else we got here. This is a cool bipod. I don't have a T1 to put this on, but it's really cool, and I kind of wanted to show it off. Victoria, thanks for that. This bipod's neat. It's got a little Picatinny on the side, so it can be a bipod, it can be a foregrip, it can be a shooting rest. I was actually thinking of mounting this myself and putting a Picatinny and mounting this on the T2. I thought that would be pretty neat. So I will probably do that. And that will probably get some true oil also in the end. Thanks, Victoria, for that. I appreciate that. We have a face mask. Of course, we have it's our right business card. And I'm going to get into the accessories here. This isn't going to have a lot of the accessories that you'd get, I don't think, because this was sent out just to be used for this little competition that's going to be going on. So, we got our owner's manual. Got some earplugs. And I'm going to give you guys a code at this video. So make sure you watch this, like, subscribe, share. If you do, you can use this code to get $50 off your next purchase. And I'm going to read that to you. This is a limit 1 per person, okay? And this code is going to be valid for a cart amount of $401. You're going to get 50 bucks off which you're there. You buy a gun, you got your 50 bucks off, which is pretty cool. And that's pretty good. So I'm going to post this for you guys at the end. I got Victoria's cool business card, and if you guys want to call her direct, let's see if I can get that in there for you to see. There you go. That's Victoria's business card, and that is her website. You can contact her anytime. She's happy to answer any of the questions for you. We have a fill probe and another little goodie in there that I'm not going to show you till another video. We got our dog tags. We have, which I always run out of, another nice cattleman pen, a cleaning rag, and we have, let's see what this is here. We have some 25 round mags that are now labeled Cattleman guns right on them. So that is cool. Got a few of those in there. Very excited to see these. I'll show that to you. Very cool. Very cool indeed. and they are labeled Cattleman guns. This is going to be a really cool little shootout. So what do I think about the Cattleman first impressions? Well, as y'all know, I love Cattleman. So my first impressions they're good. I wouldn't expect unboxing anything less than this, to tell you the truth. This is a beautiful look. We got another magazine in it too. So really, really nice. And what I like is that cheek weld. Man, I really like that adjustable cheek weld. I'm in love with the stock. I really am. How's it going to shoot? Well, if it shoots like any other Cattleman, it's going to shoot great. It does have a free-floating barrel, as you can see. Remember, we just discussed that. And what I like about the free-floating barrels. Let's pull the shroud off, see if there's anything weird or crazy going on in there. Which I don't believe there will be. Oh, wait a minute here. I actually got two different... Well, I'm going to have to get a different thing to pull that off, I guess. Because, let's see what I can do here. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. No, I'm going to have to get a different tool to pull that off by hand. That one's a little tight. But, you guys get the gist of it. Air tube, I believe, don't quote me, I believe the air tubes on these are a little bit bigger on the 25 cal, but I'm not for certain. But I believe it is. But as you can see, look at that. Nice free-floating barrel down there. See that nice even gap right down through there? Now, as we talked about barrel bands, when you see a barrel band on a gun, there's a purpose for them usually, and that's because the gun's not accurate without one. It means you got a lot of barrel flex, or the barrel does not return back to a normal position after a little vibration. In the firearm world, we use free-floating barrels because they're not accurate unless it's a free-floating barrel. Same thing in the PCP world. It's the same thing. You got a good barrel, it should be accurate without a barrel band. So, that being said, will this be more accurate with a barrel band? I don't know. I haven't shot this one yet. Will this T2 get a barrel band? Hell no, it won't get a barrel band. Thing's a tag driver the way it is. I'm not going to mess that up. I'm not even going to experiment with it. It's just not going to happen. Maybe we'll experiment down the line with a different one, but this is my main shooter right now. But what I have to do now with this is find a good quality scope to put on this. And honestly, on the 22, I got my trophy, my Bushnell trophy, which serves the purpose for me very well. No, it's not a mil dot scope, but I can read it well, and it hits 100 yards. It hits really well at 100 yards. I got a sub of mine who witnessed that with a 15 grain JSB at 100 yards, hitting the target every time. He witnessed that firsthand. So, yeah, I'm satisfied with this. This being a 25 caliber, I may actually pull this back even farther one of these days. But look at this. Let's take a peek at this again. Beautiful bullpup, right? Look at the scope on this thing. I don't really, the camera does not pick up the size of the massiveness of this scope. But this is a 6-25 by 56. And it's massive, and it's heavy, and it's really, really, really nice. So, obviously, this is going to be the scope that's going to be used on this Challenger, on this Bullpup Challenger by AEA. And Terry from Fox Air sent this over to me to compete with the Cattleman M1. So thank you, Terry. Thank you, Victoria. Without people like you, I couldn't do these videos. I really appreciate it. And so I think the Cattleman's going to deserve a scope that at least can compete with this, because this is a really nice scope. In all fairness, I wish I had the same scope on each rifle, but I don't. So I could go out, and I probably will go out and purchase another scope for the M1. I have a few laying around here, but I'm trying to keep this apples for apples. Do you guys think, my viewers think, that I should test the AEA first, then zero it in and get it set for this rifle, and then take this scope to keep it apples for apples and put this on the Cattleman and then test the Cattleman? Leave that in the comment section below, because I'd really, really like to know your thoughts on that. I really, really would. What are your thoughts on that? Seems like that would be the fair thing to do. Or should I go out and purchase, which, you know, gets expensive, but should I go out and purchase another scope for the M1? I'm going to have to purchase one anyhow for the M1. The M1 is mine. And no, that doesn't make me biased, okay? Just so everybody know, this is going to be a fair competition. It was sent to me for the competition, but it is my rifle. And there's nothing special about this. So just so you know, this is the exact type that you're getting. And this rifle right here was sent for the competition from Terry. This one is on loan. And we're going to be totally fair with both of these rifles. Whoever wins this wins it. And maybe there won't be a winner. Maybe they'll just both be outstanding. I'll let you guys figure that out in the end. I'll give you my impressions and what I think the winner is. But that's going to be totally up to you. I see areas of this AEA that I like better than the Cattleman. And I see areas of the Cattleman that I like better than the AEA already. So we'll have to see on that. Neither one of these has had the trigger pulled yet by me. So that's coming in an upcoming episode very soon. I may even get to the range today. It's really yucky out. I'm not going to lie. It is yucky. It is a bad, yucky day, and it's raining, but at the range, it's undercover. Maybe I can get out today and get some feet per second tests done. I do have the ammunition that I'm going to run on both. We'll go over that in a second. I talked about it in my last video. But we can go over that in a second. Let me see if I can get this here so you guys can see this rifle and how actually beautiful this thing is. Isn't that pretty? Do it this way. That's pretty, right? Isn't that? Oh, there we go. There we go. Isn't that nice? That is a superb looking rifle for sure. I'm really liking it. I like it. I'm a wood guy. Both rifles. Wood. I like the finish on the AEA. And this is really pretty much all I can talk about right now until we get down to actually shooting impressions. I like the finish. I like the rubber butt pad on this. It's got that nice design in it. Nice and grippy. This one's more of a tactical, I'd say Remington style kind of pad on it. Very good quality. Just different versus this one here, which is a little more flashy, and this one's a little more brighter. Actually a lot. The walnut on the Cattleman is definitely it's just wood. Doesn't have a finish on it, which is a lot of people like that. It's really cool. It's raw wood. The workmanship's amazing. I'm looking at once again both of these stocks when they came in. The workmanship on the stocks themselves is amazing. This is more of a finished wood, but I will tell you that the quality of the wood on the Cattleman is a step up. It's not finished, but it's a step up. It's got more craftsmanship in it. It's been stippled on the side. It's got the nice grips. A little more went into the stocks, although they are not true oiled or finished or urethaned or anything like that. This is also a beautiful looking stock. It's very ergonomic. This one feels really, really good in your hands. Really, really good. I mean, this is really nice balance. The bullpup has a really nice balance. This, for my offhand shot, I'm not gonna get that front heavy feeling, even with a heavy scope on it, because of the way this is balanced. So, and with this scope, it's nice. And a lot of you know that I shoot left-handed and right-handed, so I can shoot this scope. And what's nice about this scope, good scopes, you shoot both eyes open. If you're not shooting both eyes open, or if you can't, chances are you got a bad scope. It's not up to standard, because you should be able to look down the scope, right or left-handed, look down the scope and see your target with both eyes open. So this one is very, very nice. And as you can see, I did a little something to the top of this up here. because, well, there's no rubber pad or anything soft to put your cheek on. That's just the elephant in the room. I wasn't going to even talk about that today, but it kind of is the elephant in the room when it comes to the AEA. But I guess we can go down that path. Okay, let's go over aesthetics. Let's go over aesthetics. Why not, right? We're here. Why not do it? Why not do it? Let's go over some aesthetics of these two beautiful guns. Okay. Now, and to be fair, I don't know a lot about the AEA. A lot of it's going to be new. If the trigger pull, and they are, you can adjust your little bit of the trigger pull on the Cattleman's, by the way. I think I have a video out showing how to do that. Be careful when you do, because if you don't know what you're doing, you can pretty much mess up the internals of your gun, but there is an adjustment to do it. Nothing that can't be reversed, just so you know, nothing's going to damage it, but there is a point you can go where you will cause a spring to go too far, and then you have to get that spring back. So be careful there if you dive into it. They're pretty easy to work on, pretty easy to maintain. As far as the AEA goes, I haven't been in one. I don't know. They do have the power wheel adjustment. I believe it's set at max right now. We'll experiment with that, but these are gonna be shot the way they came out of the box. That's how we're testing them. So the way this come to me is the way it would come to you. The way this come to me is the way it would come to you. It's the way it's going to shoot out of the box. And that's what we're going to judge it on. Now, later on down the line, maybe we can dial some stuff in better and give you a better idea, if you're good at tinkering, what you can do. But for these purposes, well, we'll keep it how it is out of the box. Okay, AEA fit and finish, beautiful. Beautiful fit and finish. Looks like it was very well engineered. Barrel size. Well, I haven't pulled the shroud off this, but I'm going to tell you right now that I pretty much know already that the barrel on a Cattleman is bigger around than the barrel on the, quite a bit bigger than the barrel on the AEA, even in the 22. These are 4000 grade steel. I am not sure what the steel is on this. The barrels for the Cattleman, the steel on it, you can tell even the way with you have some machining lines on it. Well, that's because the steel is so hard. Kind of like you would see on a high-powered Russian rifle. Anybody that knows some of that Turkish steel over there, or Russian steel, or anything like that, is pretty high quality. It's pretty intense steel that they use. The old Mosin Nagants are like that. They never warp. They always stay straight, and they always stay true for years. You get a surplus one the hell's been beat out of it, and it's still an accurate gun. So I have really good feeling about their steel that they use in these guns. As far as I don't know where they source their steel from. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure of the rifling yet. We'll have to look into that. But from what I can tell, they're a pretty accurate gun, and that's what it boils down to, right? And it looks good. I will tell you this. I love the fact that the AEA has this covered port, and I love the fill port is nice and smooth. Now, a lot of you, if you've ever experienced a fill port that's not smooth, sometimes you have a problem getting the seal until you get that first big blast of air in there, and that gasket can expand. Especially if you're using a hand pump. I have not put any air in this yet because, well, it's charged. So, but that theoretically should seal a lot faster than a rougher finished. And I believe the Cattleman is one of the ones that has a rougher finish on the fill port. Now, not that it's a bad quality, because it's not, but has been complaints that people couldn't get air in the gun, or they think that it's leaking. And really, sometimes, actually most of the time, it's not leaking. It's just that you don't have, if you're using a hand pump, you don't have the seal. And if you're using it in the cold especially, it's hard to get a seal because your gaskets shrink. So, but this appears to be of the same quality as the T2. So let me look at this one here. Yeah, it's nice and Nice on the inside. It's not as smooth and refined of a finish as the AEA. I would love to see Cattlemen, if you're watching, I would love to see you do that. I would love to see you have this kind of setup. And let me show you. I'm going to show you the difference here. Let me get that up there. My light went dead. So, I don't know if I can show that to you. Well, there you go. There's your fill port on this. And there's little gun oil on this stuff. So, you can see that. That's your fill port. Okay, no cover over it or anything like that. It's just an open, exposed fill port. Serves a purpose and it does the job. I don't have an issue with it, but I usually blow mine up with a hand pump. But if you don't get that, you gotta expect you're gonna have to get that seal. I lubricate my seals with silicone oil. And you guys, this is where you're gonna see little differences like this. And this is what's nice about reviewing new companies, new things. I like the cover. Wouldn't that be nice if the Cattleman had a little cover? Keep stuff out of there. But there you go. There's your smooth finish on the AEA, the gauge on the end. Very smooth. And that's pretty much why you get a little bit better of a seal. Very, very smooth finish. Smooth to the touch. It's a nice touch, and it wouldn't take much to do that to the Cattleman. Now, the price point of this thing, I think, is $475 or $479 for this gun. That's not with the scope. So you're getting a lot for the money, as you are with the Cattleman. But how are they gonna turn out in power? Like I said, the stock on the Cattleman is amazing. The stock on this is super nice. It is glossy. A lot of people like that glossy. I do too. Matter of fact, they pulled off a lot with the AEA for the money. They got a lot, looks like they got a lot accomplished for the money. It does have appears to be a metal trigger guard and a metal trigger too. Don't quote me, but it feels like it. And, of course, the Cattleman, well, it's just a tried and, true, it's a design that works. And that's been on a lot of rifles, like we said before, open source design. And it's on some high-end ones, it's on some mid-range ones, and it's on some low-end ones. And I think the low-end ones are what really gave people a bad taste in their mouth. But I will tell you that this one's pretty neat. Pretty neat. In the production line. My numbers are very close in production. Like, really close. So that's cool. I like that. I'm not even going to say what that is, but that's really cool. So it makes me wonder who had their hands on it. I know her grandfather oversees all the gunsmithing over there, and hats off to him because he knows what he's doing. He really does. He knows what he's doing. You'll have to bear with me a little bit. I'm just really anal about rifles and how they're sitting, and anything's going to happen to them or they're going to fall over or anything like that. But this unboxing's the Cattleman. Nothing less than I would expect out of a Cattleman. Nothing less. This one's going to get a sanding, quick sanding. It's going to get some, like I said, some true oil. If this shoots like I think it's going to, this will be my go-to, my new go-to. What's really interesting about this is for shooting right-handed, it's very comfortable. It is notched out on the right hand. It's also notched out on the left. And I'm going to tell you something. As far as setup goes, that works. That works for me left-handed. It's nice and comfortable. Very nice. It's nice and comfortable. So I can shoot this either way. I'll be comfortable either way. Back here, guys. You see that or not? There's your non-existent. You can see where you can access that right there. That's your hammer spring adjustment right there. So you can actually get to it on this. What do you think about that? You can actually get to that without pulling the stock off. And I had a lot of know-it-alls telling me that these guns didn't have a hammer spring adjustment, and I just couldn't believe the stuff that was coming out of some people's mouths. Never had one in their hands telling me, after I already adjusted mine on the chrono, that they didn't have one and that I was lying. Oh, kind of just blows my mind, some of the people out there. What are you guys' thoughts? Who's going to win? I will tell you that, well, you had a massive scope on that. The other one, that scope on that weighs 2.5 pounds. And I think that was without the sunshade. Yeah. So that's a stout little bullpup. This one, well, I don't have a scope on it. It's not terribly heavy. It's really not. I forget what the weight is on it. It's not terribly heavy. I'm really liking the rifle stock itself. It is ambi. Just so you know, lefties or righties, you're going to like it. Now, speaking of lefties and righties, I get some people in the comments to say, oh, you say you're ambidextrous, prove it. Or comments somewhat like that. Well, okay, if you want me to go out and shoot right-handed, I can. If you guys have paid attention, you'll know that on my sporting rifles or assault rifles or anything like that, or any of those style rifles and air gun rifles, I'm going to stick to that, air gun terminology. I shoot those right-handed. Use my red dots right-handed. So, obviously, I'm ambidextrous. The reason that I like to shoot, this is my big reason. The reason that I like to shoot my air guns left-handed is, number one, I'm left-eye dominant. It's not a big difference, but I am left-eye dominant. So that's number one, but that's a plus. But when I was trained to shoot, I was trained to shoot left-handed. I always shot right-handed. It was uncomfortable to shoot left-handed because, well, I'm right-handed. So, I'm going to show you guys why, and hopefully you can take away something positive from this. Why? So if I'm here, and I'm on my scope, and you see my hand here, okay? And I'm on my scope, and I'm looking through my scope. I pull my trigger. Boom. Well, your cocking action or your bolt or whatever you're using is over here, right? So what happens? My hand has to come off the trigger, go up, cock it, come back to the trigger. So automatically, just out of bad habit, your eyes tend to leave the scope, and you pull. So your hand has to come off. Well, that's a flaw right there. Your hand's coming off the trigger. You're not staying on target. Your hand's coming off the trigger. You're moving around. Your hand's coming off the trigger. See? Have to cock it. Hand comes off the trigger, goes back down. Okay? When you're shooting left-handed, when you learn to shoot a rifle left-handed, your eyes are on the trigger. You stay on the scope. You pull your trigger. Okay? You don't have to come off the trigger. You can keep your finger on the trigger. You pull your trigger, stay on the trigger. You can still maintain your target. Cycle your rifle with your bolt. Pull your trigger again. Cycle the rifle. Pull your trigger again. Your hand never leaves the trigger. That little variable right there can make a huge difference with hitting your target on a second shot or missing your target. So, why do I shoot left-handed? Why do I prefer? Well, the left-eye dominance is just a minute thing. I can shoot right-handed. I'm more comfortable shooting left-handed because of years of shooting left-handed. Training to shoot left-handed. Why? So I can cycle the bolt with my right hand. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Who do you think is going to win the competition? Cattleman? M1, 25 caliber. Super exceptionally nice looking rifle. Or this other super exceptionally nice looking rifle. All right, why not get into the aesthetics of it? Why not? We're here, we're now. Let's talk about it. Cattleman, what do I like about it? Out of the box. I love the design of the stock. I love the adjustable cheek rise. I love the Turkish walnut. And I'm going to finish it even better. And like I said, do some true oil. Really bring out that grain and luster. It looks good. Anything I don't like? It looks great. It really does. I think if Cattleman changes their fill port and refines it a little bit better, I think they will definitely shine a little more. I don't know, Cattleman, if you're listening, if that would be possible to do for you guys. AEA has it down there. And so, of course, I love the T2, so I'm going to love this. I prefer this looks-wise, and it's a bit more comfortable, especially shooting the way that I shoot. I like to shoot out to at least 100 yards, so this is going to suit me better than the tactical buttstock. This seems a bit more balanced, honestly. I think I like the wood back here better. It seems to fit me a lot better, so I like it. And like I said, I'm ambidextrous, so this will work out well for me either way. Aesthetics are great on this. Got no complaints aesthetically. Let's hope it shoots good. I don't see why it wouldn't, but let's hope that it does. Now we're going to move on back to the AEA. And of course, this is also really an amazing looking rifle. Aesthetics on this gun, very visually pleasing to the eye. It's got a really nice rubber butt plate on it. It looks good. It's machined really nice. The finish of the machining, if I can give it any quality up on the Cattleman, the finish of the machining is more refined. It's glossier. It doesn't have, I guess the Cattleman's looks good, but it's more industrial, I guess I'd say. This is more refined, more streamlined looking. It looks like they've got their tooling really precise when it comes to the finish that they've used on these guns. I'm not sure what they use for the exact finish on it, but it is nice. And I do like the cover over the fill probe. I think that's a really, really good idea. Internal silencing. I mean, that's really something that Cattleman could do also. It would extend the length of the Cattleman barrel yay far, probably a good 4 or 5 inches. But it can be done. There's no reason why it couldn't be. It was done on this. So, of course, it's really simple bushing system that they use. So that's pretty simple. I haven't heard this one fire, but I've seen them online, and they're quite quiet. The finish of the stock on this, like this is still considered a matte finish, but it does have a bit of a finish to it. It has been finished, where the Cattleman stock is not a finished stock. This is still more of a matte finish, but nonetheless, very nice looking, very nice looking. And if you guys out there have used True Oil, if you do have picked up one of these, True Oil is compatible with polyurethanes. A lot of people don't know that. So if this is urethaned over, you literally could give this a scuff with some fine steel wool, and do some coats over it and keep doing it in between, and it'll really get to a nice shiny luster if you're into that. I like wood, so this isn't mine, or I would do it. It's a beautiful gun. So, out of the box impressions. I guess we'll start this today. Out of the box impressions. Who wins? Well, that's subject to opinion. I love the stock on the Cattleman. I think aesthetically, the visual, the stippling on the rifle itself, and visually, is very attractive. So visually, the first impact would go to Cattleman. But then when you look closer and you see the metal finish with the AEA, now I'm not talking internal barreling, because these guns can both, maybe they shoot amazing, maybe one does, one doesn't. AEA has it on their metal finish. They win. Hands down, as a matter of fact. They win. Definitely do. It's just a bit more refined. Well, not even a bit more. Quite a bit more refined. I got to knock some points off the AEA for not having a cheek rest or something to put your cheek on. I have put this foam right here when I was dialing in this trying to get the scope, laser sight the scope, bore sight it. So because I had to get my cheek up to meet the scope, and that's really difficult to do. I thought I might have had an issue with this, shooting this right or left-handed, maybe one or the other. I can leave my eyes open on this scope right-handed, and I believe that I'm going to be able to shoot this left-handed. Also, there's no reason that I won't be able to and still cycle it by my cheek. There's no reason that I can't do that. It just feels natural, so I can still can cycle it with my right hand, even though the bolt is not forward. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be an issue at all. I just wish that AEA would have included, as some brands do, a cheek rest or riser. This would be a really simple fix too. You could have, it could be ambi also, and you just have 2 set screws in your receiver right here. And you could raise it up and down, or even mount one on the stock if you needed to, that comes up and over, just a thin piece. So a AEA, if you're watching, that would be really good to include on these. I see a lot of people shooting and they're placing their hands up here to put their hand to hold their cheek. Well, when you get your scope level correct, you need that to be pretty precise to lay into those crosshairs good. So that's about it aesthetically. I do like AEA's bolt action, how it comes up and back. Now, they're just 2 different monsters. So I'm not going to say that Cattleman needs to change their design of their receiver. As a matter of fact, please don't, because it works really, really well. If anything, I would say refine your metal work a little bit on the outside and finish it off. You'd have quite the showpiece. We know it functions. We know it works good. We know they're accurate. We know your internal barreling and your rifling is amazing. Finish it off like this. And I know it's asking a lot because it will probably drive up the prices. I mean, there's always cost effective. You know, I mean, you got to keep things cost effective, and I do understand that. Another thing, if you could do, not all Picatinis fit on your Picatinny rail, or what you want to call it, a reaver rail. I call it a half and half because I find that some Picatinny accessories will fit on it and some won't. For instance, these scope rings right here, while they fit very, very well on this Picatinny rail, I almost want to lean towards yours being a weaver style, but it's almost like an in-between because it does fit some Picatinny. So, accessories. So, something that you might want to do is, to keep it safe, stick with Picatinny. Don't go weaver, go Picatinny on your rails if that's something that you could do, and make them a fit Picatinny accessories because, well, that's what most of us use. Weaver, I don't know. I'm not a fan, simply because most of the time things are Picatinny and they're easy. You know what's going to work. So make your rail a little more. I haven't checked out the spacing, but I honestly, yeah, it's more. You got more of a weaver style there for sure. I don't even know if I would really call it a weaver style. It's like an in-between because, like I said, I have had some Picatinny accessories on it that work quite nicely. These particular scope rings won't, and that's because the bolt that goes through is fat enough where it doesn't let it sit down. If it sat down farther, it would. So it could be just a matter of changing out those to a thinner bolt, but shouldn't have to do that. Go full Picatinny. You'll have no problem. That's what this is, and it works great. So aesthetically, very pleasing gun. AEA, I don't know. We look at your barrel, and I know you're trying to keep weight savings down, but this is a 25 caliber, which leads me to believe that your barrel is quite thin. Now, is that going to be a problem? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what grade steel you use. I wish I could find out more. If anybody knows, please leave it in the comment section below because I really don't know. But I would prefer a heavy grade steel and have it a little thicker. You don't have to worry about any warpage as much, and you can really get away with that, and that's what this is. It's a nice, I say it's a free-floating system. They're both free-floating systems, but they're not. And what do I mean by that? If you really want to see the gun's accuracy, we talk barrel bands and we talk everything else. Well, it kind of does have a barrel band. And I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm going to. Okay, so let's pull this shroud off. And this goes for the Cattleman and this. So this is internally suppressed, okay? And as you know, your shroud sits over this, screws onto here. So that's a mounting point. Your barrel is in between, but the end of your barrel is right here. So if you really want a free-floating barrel, what you're going to do is pull off your shroud. You'll deal with your loudness, and this is a free-floating barrel. The minute you put your shroud over a free-floating barrel, and I know I went off on a tangent about the free-floating barrels and the barrel bands, but the minute you do that, you are changing the dynamic of the barrel, and you're bending the barrel one direction or another. And that goes the same with the Cattleman, and I will show you that. So it's not a free-floating barrel. What you have is a barrel inside of a shroud, and the shroud is the barrel band. The shroud is acting as a barrel band. So I kind of misspoke earlier, and I apologize for that. But if you really want to think of it, the shroud is acting as a barrel band because the end of this is holding this in place, and this is holding that in place, and it's really acting like a barrel band. Now you could stiffen it up even more, but you're really taking away from the characteristics of the gun if you do that. So let me set this back over here, please. This is a heavy gun with that scope on too. Let's do that. Okay. Now let's take a look at the Cattleman again, okay? And again, we have the same thing, but watch this. Okay, I think I can get this off. You know what? Let's just give it a good twist. There we go. Give the whole thing a good twist, and I will show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to pull this off, unscrews, kind of like, and we're going to pull that off, and there is your barrel. This is a free float. Now, this is a free-floating barrel, and you do have barrel flex, of course, because now it's purely free-floating. But the minute you take this and you sit that there, and if you look at the end of this barrel right here, you'll see the end of it here. And you see that barrel in there? See how that's just like that? Now, this is how easily this could be moderated real quick. You could just bring that out, put your adapters in the end, and poof, you got a built-in moderator. Simple. Easy peasy. But, or you could just have a moderator that threads on to the end of this. So everybody's screaming for a barrel band. This is really your barrel band, because what you're doing is screwing this on here. If I can get it here. Screwing this on right here just changed the whole dynamic of the barrel. And I'm not saying it shoots bad because I haven't shot it, but it changes the whole dynamic of the barrel. And it puts pressure on the barrel. It moves it one way or another. It has to. So any machining that's off in between on either rifle will be a characteristic of that rifle. Now, put that back on. So this is where your moderator would go. If you wanted a screw-on type moderator, you could internal moderate it with a shroud, however you want to do it. Okay? But if you look, you'll see here. See how this is a free-floating? So I say free-floating. There's, see the gap of air between the barrel and the air tube. Okay, but now watch. I'm going to push this down. See, let me just put that little bit of pressure there. See how that gap is gone at the end? Okay, so that means, what if you had an air tube that was made a little off? It would touch the end of that barrel, change the dynamic of it. So you have to have your machining exactly precise and perfect, or it's going to throw off that dynamic. I'm probably going to try this, and this is just coming to me now, pull the shroud off, use it as a free-floating barrel, and see what's more accurate. Because my guess is the free-floating aspect will be more accurate. That's just my guess. And I know a lot of you out there will disagree with me. You know, I need a barrel band, barrel band, barrel band. It's not a shotgun. They're incredibly, in the grand scheme of things, low-powered pellet guns. Incredibly low-powered. They're not a firearm. You shouldn't need a barrel band. You just should need an accurate barrel. And that's really what you should need. So aesthetically, both of these guns are gorgeous. Both are beautiful. AEA wins on their metal finish in the end. Cattleman wins on their stock in the end. Now, we're going to go to accuracy. We'll go to accuracy. And I'm going to tell you something right now, too. If I can. Do I have it here? Oh, where is it? I don't have it here. I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah, here it is. I have it right here. we're going to move to magazines. This is the 25 magazine. Hear that? 25 magazine for the AEA. And AEA, the magazine, your magazines suck. They're a nightmare. I don't know who designed the magazines, but you need to redesign a magazine. These Cattleman magazines are bulletproof. They work great. They don't jam. They cycle every time. They're really simple to load. You simply load them and put it in and shoot it. These, when you first get one, you're going to be a Philadelphia lawyer to figure them out. Got to load one in one way, go around. It's not a good design. And as you can hear, they're rattly. They're a rattle for a 25. I mean, you'd think that they'd fit a little more snugly and secure in there. No rattles to the Cattleman. They're in there. They're secure. You know that they're going to go inside of a mechanism that works great. So, Cattleman, one up on the magazine, AEA. My opinion, yours may vary. You might love loading these things. I don't like it. I don't like rolling back the plastic piece either, honestly, to load it. And I know a lot of companies do that. I like this simplistic design with the rotary, and it's got a wheel on it, and you just turn it. I'll give you another example. You just pop one in right here. Turn it, load it, turn it, load it, turn it, load it, turn it, load it. It's all spring loaded. When you're done, it's loaded. You slide it in, and it just cycles back down. This one, you have to turn the cover in a certain direction, load one way, come back and let it cycle back around, and hopefully you got it right. And if you're not used to loading these, you can load one in, have one fall out. Load it back in, have it fall up the other side. That's my opinion. I'm sure I'll get better at it, but I just think it's a bad design. Am I knocking AEA for it? No, I think their gun's probably going to be great. But magazine design, Cattleman has it all day long. And as you can see, it's a little more compact of a design too. The quality of the Cattleman plastic is a lot. It's more of a high quality ABS than it is the plastic for the AEA. So Cattleman definitely has it all day long on their magazine quality. And now they're coming out with the ones that have the plate, the block-off plate, so you can't dry fire. I don't believe these ones don't have it, but they're coming out with it, so that's going to be great. So they have it there. Anything else? Okay. Like we said, AEA butt pad, nicer than the Cattleman's. It's just nicer. It's a nicer quality. They did take time to finish their and do a matte. Either I believe it's probably a urethane finish or maybe it's an oil-based finish. I'm not sure on their stock. So there was a little extra step there going on. But it's nice. It looks good. But as far as stock quality goes and craftsmanship, definitely goes to the Cattleman. Because I believe all their stuff's pretty much done by hand. It looks like a craftsman went in and did it. So there's trade-offs. There's trade-offs to each. We're going to see which one I like more. And I'm going to tell you, I don't even know. I really don't know which one I'm going to like more. It's going to come down to accuracy for me and which one's more comfortable at the end of the day. I think they both got a really good shot right now at it. So, and every time I look at them, I go, boy, I wish Cattleman had the process. And I say the metal. The receivers are nice, okay? The metal on the receiver looks good, like the AEA. It's the little details. The shroud is more flat, where this is more refined and has more of a gloss finish, more refined. And like I said, the fill probe, or the fill port, more refined on the AEA. So really simple to do to this, but how much would that drive up the cost? And AEA's already there for the cost. Their rifle's cheap. Might even be cheaper for what you're getting. So AEA, as far as they go, all they have to do is add a cheek rest to this, and they're in the game. All Cattleman has to do, well, is maybe finish off their shroud, their air tube and their shroud a little better, and put a cap over the fill port, and they're in it too. So there's two small discrepancies. So that's just up to you what you want. Leave it in the comment section below which one you like better aesthetically. And let's do this before I go. I'm going to show you these real quick before I go because, well, that's what we do. That's what we do. So here is your AEA. And it looks really good, right? I mean, this is growing on me every time I look at it. I'm not going to lie. It's growing on me every time I look at it. And it's really comfortable in the hands. I can't stress that enough. There you go. And like I said, I put this little foam piece here. It's for my cheek. It doesn't come with it. It's just a little two-sided tape on it just to hold it so I can be a little more comfortable. This does have a power wheel. And the M1 is adjustable through the back for its hammer spring. So, they both have adjustments, which is great. So there's that. Now let's put this up here. And keep in mind, this does not have a scope on it. I assure you this will look really good with a scope. And then we have the Cattleman. And let me get my coffee. I had to get my coffee because, well, I was so ornery, to tell you the truth. And what do you think? Very nice, right? I don't think I have... Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have a scope handy to put on it right now to show you, but it's a really good looking rifle. More traditional, definitely, but it shines in its stock and hopefully it shoots like the .22 caliber. Tell me what you guys think. Which one do you like? Which one do you like? Thank you for watching M&B Airgun Review. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have in the comment section below, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to be covering pretty much everything in these next upcoming episodes. Hit that like button, share, subscribe. You don't want to miss out any of these numbers that are going to be coming out for your foot-pounds and your feet per second and the accuracy tests. That's coming up next. It's literally pouring outside right now. I'm looking out the window, so that won't be happening today. I planned on it today, but it's not going to happen today. So bear with me. We're going to get there, but make sure you hit that notification bell because you do not want to miss those episodes coming up. And in the long run, we're going to do a better breakdown of each rifle so you guys can, really make an informed decision for yourself. Maybe a lot of you guys are on the fence about a bullpup. Would I like a bullpup? I don't know. Listen, I was never a bullpup fan looking at them. I got this AEA in my hands, and I'm going to tell you what, I'm changing my mind quickly. So, all right, guys, have a good one. Thanks again.